There we go. Yep, I call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First item of business then is our minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting February 13th.
I move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the regular board meeting February 13th minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next item of business is the general fund vouchers 80203 through 80288 and wire transfers 202-30370 through 202-30431.
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our general fund vouchers as listed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next item of business are our public comments. Anybody here for the public comment section?
Did you have to do that one?
No. It's just reports on the...
I guess no.
No, yeah, the monthly revenue expense, I just had to put them in there somewhere, so they have to be, but we never, they're always just included in your packet, so I just needed to include them in
I
your
thought
packet.
we always
so-
approved both of those.
Yeah, we never really approved those. They're there for your information always, so.
Okay. All right, well, no public comment, so we'll move on to the spotlight on education, and we'll start with the state wrestler participants.
Yeah, so I actually talked to Coach Wood a couple times last week, and then I talked to him again today, and so we're going to postpone that to the next meeting. There was a couple wrestlers that just had a couple conflicts with schedule, so they couldn't be here, so I said, well, let's see if I didn't want anybody to feel, certainly left out or didn't have the opportunity to be here, so we'll postpone that one till April 10th meeting, but we do have Empty Bowls fundraiser, and we have Mrs. Waterman here to give a little bit of information about that.
All right, well, first of all, I just want to say I'm only the spokesperson. I was not solely the only one that put it in. A special thanks to Nettie Grote, who organized with the churches to get the soups made for that night. And then Cheryl Paulson went around to the businesses, and then she purchased the items such as bowls and things that we needed to run everything smoothly. My end of things, I reached out to community members, 4-H groups, youth groups. I think a Girl Scout group even showed interest at one point. And we organized some bowl making nights. Brought out some clay, people who have never actually been in our district before, but were participating in one of the local youth groups or 4-H groups, came in and they made lots of ceramic bowls. I was running out of room in my room to store them all. I think we probably hit about 250 bowls that we made, and some of the kids are like, how am I going to find mine? How am I going to find mine? I'm like, well, put your name on it. And they were there the night of looking for their bowls. I know one individual, he was so excited when he found his bowl on display, and Mom bought that plus like 10 more bowls for the night. So for me, it was just a matter of, yes, we were raising money for the backpack program, which Cheryl Paulson absolutely needed. She was running low, especially with COVID. So we brought in about $4,421 through business sponsors, and the night of, we ran out of soup that night by 6:30, I think, before the second basketball game hit. So that was, it was amazing turnout, and people who don't even go to this district came and helped out. I even had some locals that I recognized from Amory. I'm like, why are you here? We're not even playing your team or anything, but they came to support the program because they heard about it before, and it's a national event. So anything with the title of Empty Bowls, all the money raised has to be put towards feeding the hungry. And you can choose how you want to do that, whether it's the food shelf or the food pantry, but we chose to keep it local in our school district, and it helps fill those backpacks for the weekend with food. So yes, it was truly 100% a community event. I did not make all 200 bowls myself. I did not make all the soup myself. But we all, staff members, students, everybody really all pitched in for this event. So to me, it was a great,
But also
Great
that
turnout.
Mrs. Waterman was here many nights so that community members could come in and make bowls in the art room. So she put in a lot of hours into this event, so.
Yeah, Mrs. Waterman's humble, and yeah, you're right. You didn't do it yourself, but it wouldn't have happened without you. So that's a big credit to you. So thank you
Thank you.
for all your effort. And
Yeah.
started making bowls probably what, September, October?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
starts way back then. So
And actually, my daughter, she wanted some volunteer hours, and so her and her friends came in, I think in like August before school started, because they wanted to chalk it up for their National Honor Society application, and so they came in and made some bowls and got it started, and it was just kind of, some people came 2 nights to make and glaze, and then some just said, nope, I'll make, somebody else can glaze. And it was really fun. It was fun just getting to know a bunch of new faces that I haven't seen around. So, and a special thank you again to Nettie for organizing the churches and the soups, and Cheryl Paulson for reaching out to the businesses.
Yeah, right on, you guys. Thank you.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on to our next item of business, which is approval of resignations, I think.
Yep. We're all figuring the new navigate the new things here. Yep. Okay, so if you see there the list, so we have 2 resignations. Elementary paraprofessional Amber Shoney put in a resignation. She'd been working for a short time this year. For personal reasons, it wasn't working for her. And then the other one is our director of food service is retiring. That is Penny Kobernick. So Penny has been here for, I think she said 13 years. So yeah, she's made the decision to have this end of this year be the end of her time here. So she's going to retire. So
Well, good. Well, with many thanks, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resignations. Retirements.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our resignations. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now, the next item of business is our approval of hires.
okay, so we have 1 new hire, elementary special education, or elementary paraprofessional, I should say. The name I'm putting forward is Kelly Niles. So she's actually been doing long-term subbing and helping out in that position for a period of time, and is interested in finishing doing the rest. She'll do it for the rest of the year. Then she's on to other things next fall, but she has agreed to fill the position for the rest of the year.
All right, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the new hire.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our new hire. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is discussion of inclement weather days.
Okay, so, and I'm realizing, okay, I think I had some more detailed notes, and I think I didn't upload them here, so I'm just going to kind of go from memory and kind of wing it here a little bit. But basically, long story short is we have had 8 snow days this year, 8 inclement weather days. Since the last update that I gave, which was the February 13th meeting, I believe we've had 3 more. Was it 3 more after that? Again, I don't have my notes in front of you. I messed up with the new format here. But we were able to have virtual learning days for the high school for all 3 of those days, for the elementary school for 2 of those days. The reason for the difference, and I know I communicated with the board at the time, was that a couple of them we were able to prepare for. The other one kind of came up then right away that following weekend before we even had a chance to kind of get ourselves gathered and figure out the next step. But that was the solution that we put forth, and the staff was great about it, was very flexible. It was easier to pivot with the older kids because they take their devices home every day, and I think we were able to pull it off. So in short, the high school requires more hours of instruction throughout the school year, so we're still okay. So the high school, having done that extra day, we're still fine with meeting our minimum hours requirements. So I'm just knocking on wood and crossing my fingers that we get through the next month or so here. I mean, well, we know we've had them as late as I think May 4th one year. I think we had a snow day. So obviously that's pretty unprecedented. But so hopefully we'll be able to get through here without any more inclement weather days. And if that's the case, we won't owe any more student contact days than what we've already established way back in January. If we do have another one and we can't do virtual, we still have some really creative options that we could dig into, but we don't even need to get into that because we're not going to need it. So I've convinced myself. So anyway.
All right, thanks, Chris. Next item of business is the consideration and approval of board resolution to allow a 176-day support staff to substitute sick pay for emergency closure days for the 22-23 school year.
Okay. So the new format does allow me to have really long agenda on items like that with long titles. But so if you would open up the resolution here, if you look, so click on the item, and then you should be able to click on the attachment. Everybody got it? Everybody find it okay? So this is a resolution that I am asking the board to consider and approve. So it's a resolution for emergency usage of sick days by support staff for inclement weather closures. And I did have our attorney review this to make sure that everything was, there were no issues or no problems created by doing this. But I'll just read it out loud, kind of go through it, that way the people listening can understand what it is. So thus far in the 22-23 school year, there have been 8 school days which have been canceled or closed due to inclement weather. School District Clear Lake Support Staff Employee Handbook on page 11 under Leaves-Emergency Conditions states that support staff employees shall receive up to 2 days pay if school is closed for days that will not be rescheduled. After the 2 paid days, any emergency closures result in no work and no pay for support staff who work on days when students are present in school. So in other words, we call them 176-day employees that work just on the student contact days. The district has made provisions to offer the 176-day employees the opportunity to work on 3 upcoming teacher in-service days that remain in the 2022-23 school year. These in-service days are not normally work days for the 176-day employees. So as of this date, this leaves 3 additional work days which have been canceled for the 176-day employees and for which these employees will not be required to work or be paid. So the resolution here be it resolved that the Clear Lake School District of Clear Lake will allow 176-day employees to have the option to substitute their banked sick days to be paid for the 3 additional canceled work days stated above, as well as any additional work days that may be canceled for emergency conditions for the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year. It is understood that this resolution is only in force for the 2022-23 school year due to the unusually high number of emergency cancellations. It is further understood that this resolution does not establish new policy, nor does it establish any future precedents. So, in a nutshell, we would again like to offer the opportunity for those specific support staff to not, to have the opportunity if they choose, they're not required to, but if they choose to use bank sick days for that option. So, questions, comments?
And that's in retro?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the 3 that they have currently missed. So, and it's just those 3 because there are 3 more that again they have the opportunity to come in and work on those days. So it's just to kind of make them whole, so to speak.
So,
I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
I second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the consideration of the board resolution to allow the 176-day support staff to substitute sick pay for the emergency closure days of the 22-23 school year. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Next item of business is the approval of the 23-24 CISA 11 shared services contract.
Okay, so it's that time of year where we renew with our CISA 11 shared services. So CISA is our Cooperative Educational Service Agency, based in Turtle Lake. This is they create shared services for the districts, the 39 districts in our region. It's something that, as a small district, we do rely on that service quite a bit, and it's very beneficial for us because we would not be able to, do all the, provide all the services that they can in a large groups consortium like that. So the difference, and so if we open up the document itself, and I wasn't able to add this in until today. I actually had a question or two that CISA staff was answering for me this afternoon yet. So most of it is a renewal of what we've done in the past. The notable differences that I want to point out from the past. So if you go down partway on the first page, the district level consulting services, the 24 days of consulting. So that's the same number that we had for this year. So in the past, for many years, we've probably bought 2 or 4 days. In this past summer, we agreed to buy the additional days, and that's those consultants who've been coming in and working with our PLCs, working with our curriculum teams, with so far math and ELA and science and social studies, and it's been just very instrumental, I guess, to keep continuing us moving forward in our efforts there. So we would like to get the same number of days again next year. So that's a notable change from in the past. I'm told we can also, it's a bigger expense. We can use ESSER funds for that, for professional development too, so that's good. The other thing that's new is the very next item on there, Early Learning Consortium. So this is for, and chime in, Mrs. Anderson, if there's any details I missed in here. So this would be like for birth to 3, and then like pre-K, 4K, kindergarten, the youngest primary grades. Basically, it's a unique group that kind of specializes in that area of learning and education, and they share resources, and they've had network meetings this year. Our teachers have actually attended a bunch of them this year, and by being part of the consortium, we get that at a reduced rate in the future going forward. But I believe I can speak for them. They found it very beneficial this year to take part in that. So that's something that was requested, that they would really like to do that. The other items are things that we have done in the past. No changes. If there are any of them on there that you look at, you're like, what is that? Or want to ask questions about what it is, I'd be happy to try to answer.
So is there a way that we can get like the outcomes of these 24 days of consulting services, like what's actually being produced from those days?
So yeah, so that's like when we talk about our professional learning communities and the work that they are doing, it's been aligning standards. So yeah, they've been producing a lot. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I just think you use a lot of words that I need to contextualize it to what that actually means.
Yep.
So that we know that we're moving forward in trying to improve those math and reading scores in particular.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be good to do in the future, summer or start of the year, like do a report and have the bring in some data, bring in some, or even during a retreat, go deep dive, and have a team come in and show you what they've been working on.
I'm not questioning that it's good work. I'm just wanting to see what that good work is.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the CISA contract.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the 23-24 CISA 11 shares services contract. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of Start College Now and Early College credit applications.
And we won't mention any names, but if you look at you can click on the document, you can scan through. They're all both applications are in the one document. You can just scroll down. But Mr. Melberg, you want to just give a brief overview of what?
The first one you're looking at is the Start College Now application for that student is looking to do 2 credits this summer of a nursing program through Northwoods Tech. The second 2 you'll notice is the same student, but one is a Start College Now application, and the other is a early college credit application. What she's looking for is the approval of 6 credits, and she's going to determine based on what she thinks will transfer easier to her future 4-year school, whether she's going to do it through Start College Now or early college credit. So at the end of the day, she put both applications in, but she's looking for the approval of 6 credits.
Then I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the Start College Now and Early College Credit apps. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Next item of business is the update on preparations by the Vision Element Study Team for Cultivating Our Future community event, March 27 and 28.
Okay, so we've been sending out communications to the board, kind of updates that have been going out to the members of the Vision Element Study Team and the work that they're doing. So I don't know, Nettie, I'm putting you on the spot here, but
Yeah.
you
I think it's going good. I think today we're at like 43 that I have RSVP'd for both nights. So we're still taking more. It was out in the paper last week. So it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but hopefully we'll get some more community members and parents coming.
Do you have a target number that you want to attend?
No, I think he thought that was good.
Okay.
When he was talking about that last week when we had a meeting with him.
I think 50 to 60 is what he kind of said as a
Okay.
target. You know, I think we can get more than that. I think we're on our way. They're kind of trickling in steadily still.
Should we put our names on that list if we're going to attend?
You guys will be there for sure. So I don't know that you guys need to RSVP.
Just for account
Some of
number,
you
I
did.
guess.
Yeah, some of you did. I know. And you know that's a question that I'll clarify with Dr. Saran is, you know, your role that evening exactly. I think our, you know, when I say our, I mean the people at this table, like, I think is more of an observing role, you know, or maybe as a table leader possibly, like Nanny, because you're on the vest. But more, not to drive it, but to, you know, be there to kind of listen and observe. And,
We might be note takers
but
too, if any of you feel like you're good at
Yeah.
writing.
I was just gonna say, is it okay if we can only go one of the 2 nights? Because I have to go to the Higher Learning Commission conference.
Yeah,
So I'll be there on
I
the
think-
28th.
I think for you it is. For the people who are coming to participate, that's a really, well,
We really committed to saying
Yeah.
you need to be there for both nights, or really
Yeah.
communicated that.
just the way that the activities play out. If you come for the second and you haven't been there for the first, he said, you know, you'll just kind of, some of the foundational work just won't be there for you, and it'll be harder
And we
to.
don't want to go back, I mean, because they're
Yeah.
covering some things that would be good just to get done and leave in the first night, so we can move forward the second
Yep.
night.
Yeah. But I think he said, you know, the goals are twofold. It's to gather input and gather information to then help the Vision Element Study Team and then the board update, you know, the mission, vision, values, strategic planning, what are our priorities in our district, and then the other part of it is community building. You know, I think the people who do attend and take part, you know, that's usually a good byproduct is people walk out feeling invigorated and energized and enthused and understanding all the things that they all have in common and we all have in common as a community. So that's another byproduct of the event.
If I were to reach out to a couple like juniors or seniors that I know, would you be like willing to write a letter saying that they were part of it, as far as maybe something they could put into a resume or something like that, or?
They wouldn't need, I mean, if they want to use that as an opportunity to bolster like a scholarship application. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't need a letter from me if they attended. They could absolutely put that on a scholarship application or a college application.
Okay. That was just an update. So then the next item of business is the appointment of a board member to hand out diplomas at commencement. Anyone want to volunteer?
I can.
I have a daughter, but I would like to be a mom that day.
Okay, I was just
Okay.
gonna say, I'm like, I have a kid graduating.
Yeah, it's your first option usually is if
Yep.
you want to be want to do that.
If you're okay with it, I'd like to, just because Carl's the salutatorian, and would be the speaker right after.
Absolutely.
So,
It's all yours, Christie.
Okay.
All right.
Does that mean then you also do the little welcome?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
She
Yep.
does good.
Yep. So, okay. So Christie knows. All right.
All right, then, the next item of business is review of upcoming election.
Yeah, so again, just reminder that the election for school board is Tuesday, April 4th, a couple weeks. We have 2 open seats, and we have 2 candidates, Greg Frenchu and Corey Munson. One incumbent, one newcomer. So, again, April 4th, just a reminder of that.
All right, next item of business is the review of the Canvas Committee timeline.
Fits right into that. So we will put together the board of canvassers, and Lori and I will work together on that. And Christie as clerk, and since you're not running, you'll
I
be
can-
part of that, obviously. And then we'll get a few more community members who live in the district. So, but that'll happen. The couple days after. Usually, a lot of times we may do it even on the Friday after the election. However, this year there's no school on Friday because it's a holiday. And so we're going to really, hopefully we get all our paperwork on time right away. Then, by the end of the workday the next day, we usually have it.
It should be here by noon on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're shooting for the 6th, for the Board of Canvassers meets and just records the results. If we somehow have
Is that Thursday?
that's a Thursday, yeah. So we'd like to get it done Thursday. If somehow, we have something messed up there, then we can do it as legally as late as April 11th, but we'd like to do it, before
Timely.
the end of the week. So just a heads up on that.
So you said April 6th.
Yes, Thursday, April 6th.
Okay, next item of business, discussion of joint superintendent board member evening at CISA 11.
So this is just an opportunity and an invitation that we've been given from CISA 11. I don't know if anyone's gone in the recent years, but every year in the spring, they typically invite administrators to come up there with any board members who might be interested. And I think I attended one time years ago as a principal, but basically it's a little, registration check-in time, and then there's a nice dinner that they do, and then a presentation. And this year it is Mike Berry of the Wisconsin Association of School Business Officials, and the topic he's talking about is School Finance 101. So that might sound really exciting or really not exciting, depending on who you are. But it's obviously a very informative topic, and it's a very complicated topic, but that's what he'll talk about. And I'm not sure exactly how long, if it's 45 minutes or an hour or something like that, I would guess. So I don't know if anyone's interested. Don't have to say right now, but just after the meeting, if you want to let me know if you would be interested in going to that. And because I know Jerry up there at CISA would like to know as soon as possible. So.
This is not the new board member meeting that has been floating around. This
Correct.
is different. Okay.
Correct. This is for anybody to go. Yep. So, but he'd like us district administrators to let him know as soon as possible. So, any questions about it or?
Okay. See Chris after the meeting. Then board member policies, updates, and approvals. Approval of the 25-22 library media centers.
Okay. So, this is an updated policy from Neola, and also we did not have a board policy in place on the topic. This update came out, I don't know when it was last summer or this fall. So anyway, if you've had a chance to look through it ahead of time, it doesn't really change anything in practice about what we are currently doing and have been doing. First,
Does it affect the library committee at all?
well, a little bit. So we didn't have a board policy, but we had the administrative rule. And so that dictated, so if somebody objected to a book or a material that's in the library, that administrative rule process was in that, or told you what to do. This policy actually puts the process right into the board policy.
Right.
So, and if you, so it's option, so if you scroll down, it's option 2. So it puts it right in, and basically, again, it's the use of a committee. So it's not just school, it's not just because one of the options has basically the principal and librarian deciding. Another option was, like the district administrator deciding. This is our approach that we've, written out the last few years, but it's
So this is saying.
basically doesn't change the procedure in any way.
Right. This is saying it should start with the, the teacher, then the principal, then the school administrator.
If it's
If it goes beyond that, then it goes committee.
if it's a library item, then it kind of start with the library, who would be the librarian, who would be the teacher in that case, yeah, and then, or it says, specific concerns brought to the librarian/building principal, and if they're not kind of worked out informally, it says then if they want to basically lodge a formal objection, then it goes to the committee process.
Okay.
So if I'm reading this right, the committee would have to be an administrator, a teacher, the librarian, a reading specialist, a member of the community?
Yes,
Okay.
Minimum, right?
that's minimum.
Okay.
Matt, would you like to be on that committee? Because you can if you would like to.
Sure.
It is an option to say a board member on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
Some districts do it that way, so that way there's been a board member through all the discussions. So that's one way to look at it. The advantage of that is then if it does come to the board, there's somebody who's been on the ground floor with the whole discussion and understands what's been talked about. The other side of it, and I'm not saying one way or the other side of it is if the committee's decision isn't well received, they can appeal that to the board, and then the board is the final arbiter of the decision.
Worry is.
And then now that that you've got a board member who can say, well, they've already decided because they were on the committee, they've already decided. So there's the two sides of that argument.
They what, Chris? Because he's on the board, he couldn't decide?
Because he was already on the committee that made the first decision. Now they're appealing to the board. Is that board member an objective member, or can they? So that's the
Right.
I would say he would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
for you
Right.
guys to consider if you think that would be a good idea.
yeah. I don't think that would be.
Like I said, the
We probably
advantage
wouldn't
is
even come to that anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
But
the advantage is you've got somebody who's been on all the discussions and knows the issues.
Right.
There's timelines built into it too, so that it's doesn't drag out for a long time. Once the request has been made or the objection has been made for reconsideration, it's 10 business days to form the committee or have the committee meet. Once the committee has made their decision, then they put it in writing within 5 business days. And then once that has been delivered, then the requester has the five additional business days to appeal that decision of the committee to the board.
But the decision stands for 5 years?
Yeah.
That's a long
Can change
time.
that. The issue is, do you want the same thing? Do you want
Yeah,
to keep
you don't
recycling
want
the
it
same
come up year
question
after
over
year,
and over
but-
again? Yeah.
5 years just seems like a long time.
So basically, it doesn't change the procedure that we have currently in place. It just puts it right into the board policy.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to decide on this tonight, or is this one we can?
Yeah.
This is just the first reading?
It's
Do we
first
get to
reading,
read
so
the
yeah,
second?
you
Okay.
can-
oh, well then we can move on then.
All
Yeah,
first
all
reading.
3 of them are first reading. Yeah.
All right, so we got the library media centers, we've got criminal history record check and employee self-reporting requirements, and we've got criminal history record check and employee
Ooh, exciting.
self-reporting requirements.
It's the same, yeah, so it's the same policy just for different employee groups. So the first one, 1421, is for administrative staff. 4121 is for support staff. There's not one for teachers because that's already governed by the DPI licensure rules and statutes. So, but basically, policy says that when hiring support staff or administrative staff, that there's a criminal history record check. And
Do we
also,
do that on all volunteers too?
we have typically, yeah.
Okay.
We have a volunteer form that they fill out, and then there's public records that typically can
Yeah.
be searched pretty easily. If it's someone who's from out of state, then we've had to, and sometimes have had to pay for a service, but. And then it also talks about their specific
CSA
things.
does a lot of it, right?
No, they don't do. No, they don't do our. We have to do it ourselves. Background checks. DPI does. You know, like anybody that applies for a DPI license, they get
Okay.
a record or a background check through their license process. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Moving
questions
on.
about that?
Oh,
or-
sorry. All right, then we'll move on to our superintendent notes.
Okay. These I still got on paper. It's been a while since we've met, with spring break thrown in there and the way the calendar fell. So we had a very successful family literacy night back on February 16th after the last board meeting. Very well attended. And a whole team involved with that, but Mrs. Gillick at the elementary school, our Title I teacher, was very instrumental in driving that, guiding that, making it happen. Our wrestling team made it to team sectionals. We had 4 individuals go to the state wrestling tournament. Again, that was one of the items tonight. We'll revisit that in April. Our winter sports seasons ended in the playoff for the boys and girls basketball teams. We had a very well-received band and choir concert on March 7th for the junior high and the senior high kids. Visual Arts Classic regional competition was on March 10th on Friday before break, and every one of the kids involved with, how many kids, 16 kids or 13? 13 kids received a first rating or a 1 rating. And overall the team placed second. I'm kind of stealing your thunder, maybe come in and talk about this another time after state though. So that was a real big success for the kids participating in that. That means basically by earning a 1 in that competition, they get the opportunity to compete at the state level as an individual. So basically all of them get to do that. We just had our 3rd year of having a spring break. Last week was spring break week. I think it seems to be pretty well received from families, staff, students. We're still, we said we wanted to commit to doing it for a number of years, not just do it 1 year and change again. So I think, personally, I've noted a lot of families seem to take advantage of it, whether it be, student families or employee families, scheduling their events around that week and not having to miss school as much. And it's just anecdotal, but I feel like coming back from it last year, it did feel like it gave people a little recharge before coming into some challenging spring months. I do feel like it made a difference. It's hard to quantify, you just kind of feel it. So, band and choir made their trip to Chicago over spring break. Again, that was very successful as well. Spring sports have begun. Track started 2 weeks ago. Baseball, softball starting this week or next week. Junior high track, they've kind of postponed due to the weather. Golf has not started yet. Obviously, we've got major weather issues to overcome, and it's looking like kind of a very late spring here. So we'll see how that may impact the schedules here at the start of the season. March 30th, high school solo and ensembles coming up. Otherwise, too, the school staff and the administrative staff heavily involved with summer school planning, the forward and the ACT testing planning. The ACT and pre-ACT is tomorrow, big day. Looking at and working on staffing for next year, budget projecting for the end of the year and for next year, and grant spending still. I know I said all those things last month. Looking at, longer-term facility planning to bring back to the board. And obviously, we talked about our community engagement and strategic planning efforts with the Cultivating Our Future event coming up again Monday and Tuesday night, March 27th and 28th. So that's a lot going on, as always. So busy time, lots of good things.
All right. then the next item of business is contemplated closed session. In accordance to WSS 19.85, paragraph 1C, as well as WSS 19.85, 1A and F, in order to discuss, thank you guys for all coming.
Thanks, you guys.
District administrator evaluation, employee compensation, student conduct. I will pull the board. Nettie?
Yes.
Skip?
Yep.
Myself, yes. Christie?
Yep.
And Matt?
Yes.
All right. We are in closed session.
Future comment, or future.
Yep. Okay, we're back and open. Are there anybody have anything they want to put on future agenda items? We're going to finish up our superintendent evaluation. All right, I'll entertain a motion then.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.